Okay, fourth graders, I am going to show you how to cut your weaving off of the loom. You will not be able to cut off the loom until your weaving is at least halfway down the cardboard. This person is not that far, but I am going to show you how to cut it off. So the first thing you will do is you make sure that you ended, and you're going to flip over your board and you are going to take off the tape, all three pieces of tape. You had one at the beginning of your warp string, one at the end, and your name tag. So you're going to take off all three of those pieces of tape. And if you had any winding on your warp string, you can undo that. I just have it on one end. Our tape will get thrown away. And the next thing is to take a scissor. You probably want to use a larger scissor for this. And you're going to cut right down the middle of your warp strings. No going back after you do this. Can't add anything. All right. Now we're going to very carefully brush off the strings, the warp strings, and remove the loom. And you can make a pile of those on my table. And now your weaving is in its most fragile state. It can very easily just slip all the way off, so you have to be very careful. Now you are going to take your warp strings. I like to start with the shorter end. And you're going to take two of these strings and tie them together in a knot. So you just loop and then do it one more time. You're going to go all the way across. Across the top and across the bottom. Going as fast as I can. Now, if you have an even number of warp strings, you're good to go. If you have an odd number of warp strings, which this person does not, but I will show you the case here. If you have an odd number of warp strings, you might have two and then one more, you're just going to tie those together. So it depends. You just take two, pretend like it's one string, and then do the other end. Then I have to do the other side. And this is pretty long to tie. And I know we're not going to keep it that long, so I'm going to trim this a lot shorter. And I will show you the next step after I tie these. I'm going to go ahead and tie those off camera.